Ooh, it's showtime. It's occurred to me that I've had a number of unusual aspirations as a child. One of those things was I wanted to experience something like being Mrs. Doubtfire. This is what I liked. This was an aspiration. This is something that appealed to me as a child. I don't know, this is the experience. I was all about it. I was like, I would absolutely love to have this experience later in life. I want to have a failed marriage and be something of a playful delinquent. I mean, not a delinquent, but well, kind of. And I'd have this very strong attachment to my children, and the children adore me as well, and they hate their mother, and this is terrific. And yeah, I don't know. And then the marriage falls apart, and I'm like, oh no, but Miranda, please, please think of the children, which is a terrible idea in this case. I mean, the last thing you want to do is have a fucking toxic dynamic as your parents do for this, just for the sake of the children. For the sake of the children, get a fucking divorce. For the sake of yourselves, the children, get a divorce. For crying out loud. You're not doing anybody any favors. There's no nobility in this. It's a fucking nightmare. Stop dragging it out. You're not fooling anyone. And further analysis. But anyway, yeah, I wanted to be like Mrs. Doubtfire, and I guess my cover would be blown now. Somebody would probably be onto it to be like, this plot line seems oddly familiar to me. Did you plan this out? Well, I didn't plan it out, but it was an underlying motive. I'm not gonna lie. So there's that. So I guess I have to get more creative with this whole entire operation. But anyway, yeah, no, this is what I wanted to do. This is something I wanted. I thought it was a terrific idea. I wanted to have my, and I don't have a brother, or I don't think so. Well, I mean, I think I do. That's a long story. So let's just say I reconnected with my long lost brother, and he just so happens to be a for crying out loud. I don't know what words I'm allowed to say anymore without getting in trouble. Is it okay just to say gay? Is that okay? Am I going to get in trouble for saying gay? Is there another word for this now that's not going to get me incarcerated or something? In interloper jail? I'm not fucking going there. Good luck catching me. But anyway. Yeah. This is not a challenge, by the way. Challenge not accepted. I'm not fucking challenging anybody for any of this shit. I just don't want anything to do with it. I don't want anything to do with it. I don't want anything to do with it. Not playing your fucking games. Not into it. I don't even exist. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't look. There's nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Vanish. Yeah, so I wanted to be like Mrs. Doubtfire. I guess I'd have to come up with a different name. Because Mrs. Doubtfire is already taken. So, I don't know what my name be. Guess I could ask you. You seem to come up with these things. What should my name be? Mr. Pentapopolus? Mr. Pentapopolus. Okay, well, we have to do away with the Mr. parts because, half the idea is I'm dressing up like an elderly lady with a British accent. Oh, I guess I can't use a British accent either because that's out. That's out of the ringer. Again, that'd be another dead giveaway. So, I don't know. What's my accent? It be Irish, Canadian. How about Nova Scotia? The Nova Scotia accent. Bye. You gone down to the you gone down to the sound and Yeah, sorry, Nova Scotians, not trying to talk any shit. I don't know. Where the fuck am I from? Where the fuck is Mrs. Pentapopolus from? Oh, fuck it. Let's just give her a British accent. I don't know. I mean, it could be South African, I guess. This is not too different. Sorry about the groaning and the finagling, folks. That's the dog. Groaning and finagling over there. And licking the bed now. I guess we're just going to lick the bed for a while. All right, so Mrs. Pentapopolus. From either South Africa or perhaps England. We'll see how it goes. Again, with the whine, groaning, and the finagling and the licking. I don't know if you can hear that. I can. And I can see it too. So it's something that's happening. It's somewhat of a distraction, but it's all right. But anyway, yeah, so I guess I would go reconnecting with my long-lost gay brother, who just so happens to be a special effects artist. So this is helpful. This would be very helpful for pulling off this entire sting operation. And then, yeah, you know, because the wife, she's really rubbing salt in the wound, like, well, I just don't want you to be around the kids at all anymore. Like, are you fucking kidding me, lady? Come on. It's like, well, you're a slob. Well, yeah, well, I've got a good thing going with the kids and everything, and okay, all right, whatever. I guess it's not a good role model to be a slob and kind of a delinquent, sort of. But, so I guess I just, you know, I'd get a job. And that'd probably turn out well. I mean, eventually, maybe. I'd play with the dinosaurs, and some manager would oversee it and get all kinds of ideas in his head. And this could play out well later down the line. You know. We're helping each other out, you know. So there's that. And, yeah, this is what I wanted to do. I wanted this to go down like this as a child. I wanted to have this experience. Come back into the children's lives as some kind of nanny. Oh, hello, children. Oh, see, that's a dead fucking giveaway. I can't do that. Hello, children. and where we're gonna go just tooling around the house with the vacuum, and we're going to clean the house, and we don't know how to cook anything, and we're going to order it. And it's very expensive, and this is a problem. So I don't know how long. Children, you're going to have to learn how to cook. And Mrs. Pentapopolus is the nanny, and this is the way things are going to be from now on. I run a tight ship, you see. And this will be great, you know. I'll get my act together. I'll get cleaned up a little bit. I'll learn how to, you know, not be as much of a delinquent and a slob. I'll hold down a 9 to 5. Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm not sure how great of an idea that is. It really isn't. It really fucking isn't. That's fucking prison. It's incarceration. You can make money without being in a fucking 9 to 5. Just FYI. I mean, I know that there's people out there who try to give you a hard time about that and try to make it even harder, but I'm just saying. Just saying. But anyway. So, you know, I guess for the sake of the kids, you're doing the 9 to 5, and until, you know, things plan out a little bit more, like fall in line with something that's a little more your speed, your style. You know, you end up as Mrs. Pentapopolus on the show, and then the kids watch it because, you know, all these other things happen afterwards, and the mom got the boyfriend, and then he almost died in the restaurant, and then Mrs. Pentapopolus comes in to save the day, and the mask falls off. And it's like, oh, Jesus Christ, I probably look like an absolute psychopath. This isn't going to go down well. I'm glad the little girl gets it, and she's cool with it, but nobody else in this establishment is amused in any kind of positive or optimistic way, that's for sure. Surely the authorities are not going to be very understanding with the situation, and that's that. You know, we'd be lucky if we got to see the kids again after that, I suppose. And then the wife's really got it in for us, and we're back in court again. And she's feeling very betrayed because, of course, you know, I got all chummy with her as Mrs. Pentapopolus and listening to her over tea, like, yeah, well, you know, Miranda, this freaking gay, and yeah, you know who's a real swell fella, you know, your husband. He's a wonderful guy. He's a wonderful fella. He's always funny, and he's a wonderful guy, and he's a bit of a delinquent, but he's a wonderful guy. And, you know, you don't need to go tooling around with this fellow, this British chap, you know. I've seen them before, those types. They're just, you know, They're very cunty with the Britishisms and whatnot, and especially when they come in with the suits and ties. They're only after one thing, Miranda. They're after, Do I need to spell it out for you, Miranda? They're after, You know what they're after. You know. You know. Gross things, lewd behaviors, Miranda. I spelled it out for you. This is what they're after. And so we got all chummy, and she's real pissed about that, feeling very betrayed. And I can empathize with that. That makes sense. Probably didn't have to go over the top with all that, but I did. And here we are in the courtroom, and she's threatening. And now I'm probably not going to be able to see kids at all. I'm lucky if I don't go to prison. Probably this is probably some egregious offense to do what I've done. And but one thing leads to another, and oh yeah, he's Mrs. Pentapopolus, and it's like Mr. Rogers, but Mrs. Pentapopolus. And there's a monkey, and the kids enjoy it, and they're watching it, and the mother feels guilty because she should. She's kind of had this wrath thing going on the whole time, and maybe if somebody was a little bit less wrathful and cruel and spiteful, now who knows? Maybe things could have worked out a little differently. I don't know. I understand there's two sides to every story and everything like that, but Miranda seemed to be like a fucking real piece of work. Fucking control freak. But this is glorified because she had a fancy job. Ooh, and it's so good for the children. Yeah. Just saying, she's kind of got the glorified position there. And we follow the underdog, Mrs. Pentapopolus, just trying to hang out with the kids. But anyway, yeah, this is an experience I wanted to have as a child. I was kind of hoping something like that would happen later down the line, but frankly, I'm glad to have avoided that. It sounds better in theory than in practice, I suppose. I'm not exactly sure what kind of bearing or relevance this has on anything, but record scratch. That is relevance, not revelance. We're not getting all biblical here. Not today, anyway. All right, it's back to business. I don't know. Oh, I know. It's the hero's journey. Going into the unknown. Using whatever you have, whatever you've got, even if it's bare minimum, to make something happen. Anything. It's important. There's a reason why we like the hero's journeys stories so much. It's because the hero's journey is a story that we've all gone through so many times in so many different ways and shapes and forms. And this is a story that communicates with the unconscious. The hero's journey is a cyclical process, and it happens in the microcosm and the macro. And we go through it in real life, over and over and over again. The more you understand it, maybe the more you can work with it. Even the dark times, the dark nights of the soul. This is alchemy. Something akin to a transcendence, but transcendence is not, it's not a dissociative thing, which is how it often seems to be presented. To escape, or some form of escapism. That's not what transcendence means. Transcendence means also to include and transform, which it includes. you are coming into this larger psychobiological and metaphysical whole. And that's WHOLE. Whole. It's in wholeness. Holistic. Shadows and all. I think that's about it. Jesus Christ. I think that's about it for this one, folks. Mrs. Pentapopolus and I thank you for tuning in, and until next time.